Here, stay down there.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we want to welcome you guys all to another Hello Pivot live broadcast with our one and only Miss Cleo Michael. If you guys don't know, you are about to find out who Miss Cleo Michael is. She's an amazing individual. More importantly, she's a mother of three. We just found out she got a cat. And she's a Caribbean American, a woman that is just taking over the world. And as I shared yesterday, I'm so appreciative, of you, Cleo, that you do the beginning, you do the end, you do the middle, and you have a family. And you do all these things through, being a substance abuse counselor that now, especially over 14 years, and we got to make sure people understand 14 years. And now, right, you're a certified life coach and the owner of Set Yourself Free, and also, a co-founder of Empowerment Group as well. And really, you're passionate about helping individuals and overcoming their emotional struggle that they have up here that most people are unaware of. And then, some of the things that you do is you help people self-discover. You help people have that self-empowerment. And then, you're guiding people to the triumph and the other, land, should I say. And I've seen you in action myself, right? With you doing these social audio rooms and you literally taking people and helping people and guiding them, whether it's one person, whether it's 100 people that shows up, you have the gift of sharing people how they can overcome that. And that is where I shared with you when we first met. Oh my goodness, where have you been? Because, when you share, it's so authentic. And then, even more importantly, when I talk to you behind the scenes, you're the same person behind the scenes that you are in person. And most of the time, it's not like that. Let me assure you that, right? And so I can assure you that, this is going to be a great conversation. We got Tara here, and you guys that are all joining us on all of these live platforms. We're also in Metaverse. As well as YouTube, as well as our LinkedIn account. So you guys share, you guys support, you guys go out there and you guys learn about Miss Cleo Michael. And with that being said, Miss Cleo, share more about who is Miss Cleo, something I didn't mention.
Okay, well, thank you for that wonderful introduction. And thank you both for having me this evening. Something about me that you didn't share. Well, I love music. I love listening to music. I'm from the Caribbean, so I love listening to music and hanging out with my kids. As you said, I have 3 kids, and you saw my little fur baby just now. I enjoy doing that. And, as you said, my passion is helping people, to transition from their emotional trauma into emotional freedom. So I enjoy doing that as well. But other than that, there's not really, much. That's pretty much my whole life. The work that I do, my family, and, just things that I like to do for fun. So, yeah.
I
Go
love
ahead.
it, Miss Cleo. Well, thanks for being here. And I'm excited, about this because at the end of the day, we've done a lot of work behind the scenes, but now we get to share with everybody on the other side what Miss Cleo does. And so would you share with everybody what your past history experience is, where you started? We've got to hear this, but share it with the world, if you will.
Sure. So as far as career goes, I started out working in substance abuse. Started out from the bottom as an intern, and then went on to becoming a counselor. I worked in the jail for a little bit. In a what was it called? There was a word for it, but in a therapeutic community. That's what it is. In a therapeutic community, doing that. So that's a whole different treatment model.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went into medication assisted treatment. So that's people who work, who are on things like methadone, Suboxone, Subutex, trying to get sober. And then after that, I ended up going back into residential treatment. And while there, I just, like working in the field, sometimes you get burnt out, and I wanted to do something different. And coaching was something that I always wanted to do, but never went to do it. Because you guys know my story. I had that fear of failure and that self-doubt from early on, from from a trauma, right, of failing a class in college, and just I couldn't handle it, right. And then I had a couple of other failures as well. I had a miscarriage and some unhealthy relationships, so all of these things combined had me in a place where I was stuck, and not able to pursue that coaching career that I wanted. But eventually, with doing some work on myself, um learning how to love myself, learn how to put myself first, and learning how to heal from my grief, right, with losing my first child. That was my first pregnancy that I lost. So that was a whole nother thing for me to work through. And once I was able to do that, then I was able to say, you know what, I'm gonna go for that coaching certification. And so that's what I ended up doing, and I became a life coach. So it took a long time, but I was able to do that. So yeah, that's the backstory.
I love that. I love that. And even more, when you share, how you overcame, your struggles and how you were able to really re-put back yourself. Because, it's something that I shared yesterday in our room, is that, a lot of the times what happens is that we create this monster, right? To protect this hurt child, this hurt teenager, this hurt young person. And what happens is that this monster, just like in these movies that we see, right? If you allow that monster to stay around long enough, that monster now takes over. And you no longer have control of that monster, and who you used to be is gone, because you're allowing that hurt child, right, not to heal itself and not to overcome those traumas and those dramas, and more importantly, those patterns that we continuously have, that then become dramas, that then also, right, stick out with our pride. And as I share with a lot of people, pride stands for please remember I destroy everything. And yet we sometimes forget those things, and we have to be able to heal ourselves. And that's something you were able to do, which is why you're able to coach, right? Which is why you're able to share and why you're able to actually do. Because what I hear is a lot of times people say things, but they're not doing it behind the closed scenes, and they're not participating in the life that they're telling everybody else to, right? And so this is where we really have to be aware of how we show up, what we show up, and then even more importantly, make sure you check the source before you take their resources. And Miss Cleo is definitely one of those people that you guys should definitely follow. And so, one of my next questions that I want to ask you is, what was a pivotal moment, that you know what, I'm gonna do, this life coaching, set yourself free. This is what we're doing. When was that moment that you just said, let's go?
For me, it was like I said, I was working in the field of substance abuse, and I got burnt out, got to the point where, sometimes you have ideas and people to help better people, and the people I was working for sometimes didn't accept it, or they devalued you, and or restricted, right, your ability to be creative, and that the client needs more, but here you are, you're unable to give it because of their rules or what have you, right? And I just got tired of it. I got tired because I knew my potential, and I said, why am I sitting here wasting? Well, it wasn't really wasting time, but I could be being more impactful, right, with this population of people. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to step out, and I'm going to take a chance on myself, right? Because not only was this for the people that I would be working with, but it was also for me as well, right? I needed to know that I could do this, that I could be successful, that I needed to believe in myself too. Because when you hear it so much of people putting you down, sometimes you start to think, well, maybe I'm not good enough, So I needed to, really dig into myself and find that strength within me to do this for me, to show, hey, I can do this too. And if I can do this, then I can definitely help other people. And the other thing is, my own experiences with self doubt, as I said earlier, I really wanted to help another woman, right, who was going through the same things, who have been through, grief like I had, right, with a miscarriage, or who experienced the fear of failure, or who had been in unhealthy relationships, or was feeling, down about themselves. So I said, you know what? If I can do this, if I can work on myself and I feel good about myself today, I want to help somebody else that's going through similar things, because I want them to know that they have options. And so that's how I ended up doing that.
I love it. I love it. And so, with that being said, we want to be able to showcase to people, your actual, biz in a box, of showcasing your business to the world and how this all is come together. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to share, to people, your biz in a box.
We
And
guide women who are overwhelmed.
not that one. That's not the one I wanted. And be able to, have you step through it. So if you would, let me go right here, and then we go here, we go to share screen, and we're gonna go boom. There we go. All right. So, Miss Cleo, if you could step us through your amazing biz in a box and showcase more about your business and about your coaching, ma'am, if you would, please.
Absolutely. So there you see, here I am. You meet me. And as you scroll up, you will find out about, that's one of my things that I love to say, that our thoughts can be impactful. And that's one of the things that I really believe in, and I hold myself accountable to. And I want to help people hold themselves accountable to as well. That, it's important for us to shift, right? Have that mindset from our negative thinking and focusing on positive ones, so that we can have positive outcomes in our life. So that's key there for me. I love, that's one of my favorite quotes. But as you scroll up, you'll find
Yeah.
that I have that YouTube, my first AI motion works on there, so that I'm really proud of, as well. And then you'll find out about my I believe the my Set Yourself Free was self-love workshop that is going to be held this Saturday at 11 a.m. I'm really excited about this. I've been working on it to really teach who's going to attend how to learn to identify the barriers, right? The things that are preventing you from loving yourself, and then learn the steps that you can take to start that healing journey. So I'm really excited about that for this weekend. So you guys go ahead, hit my biz in the box so you can register for that. It will be, it's not going to be just me teaching, it's going to be us actually going through the process of healing. So we'll be laughing, crying. It's going to be very amazing.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And the one great thing that for this all is if you guys come on here and register, Miss Cleo will be able to send you all the information as well. I think is this going to be on the Zoom? Is this going to be
Yes.
in what Zoom? Okay.
Yes.
And so you guys definitely make sure you come and join and get this information from her biz in a box. And so I know we talked about your care being heritage and things of that sort. Explain to us how your Caribbean, heritage and environment and things of that sort, how is that playing into your business and coaching?
Well, in the Caribbean, we believe a lot in, encouraging people and inspiring people. We we're very, strong about, family, and for me, I bring that into my coaching business because I want people to feel inspired, right? And my mom is one of the, she's the main one in my family who has helped me stay grounded, and she's always empowering people and help. And I watched her, help almost everybody. I would come home and there's always people that she's helping at the house, And so that kind of like helped me get into the mindset of helping people. So that's a big thing in our culture, is, a family. And it's not just, blood relatives, it's everyone, right, that we view as family, and helping them. And so I want to bring that into my coaching, where I create that family through, I have a membership that you will see on there as well, that will help build a community of people that love and support each other and want to see each other thrive. So yeah.
I love it, Miss Cleo. Well, I'm excited for the things to come. And so, speaking of things to come, you got a virtual storefront that we are, wrapping up as we speak. And so we will be having a grand opening here within the next. And so my question for you is, in relationship to the technology that we have today, and in relationship to what you do, how do you see those two melding together and being able to help people, in a more virtual AR space, especially since I know you and all of us are seeing everybody walk around with their Apple Vision Pros on right now, acting like on diving out. So tell us what you think about what the technology is on the combination between what you do.
So I think that, first of all, I was just thinking about this today. I was like, man, I'm getting ready to have the storefront, and for me personally, with it, having coaching, it gives another way for you to interact with your clients, right? So I was thinking today, like, sometimes people don't want to, go into, the office or and see their coach, or maybe they want to not show up as themselves, right, in terms of, maybe they're not dressed, they don't want to put on makeup, and well, this now gives you the opportunity to come as your avatar, right, and we can interact with each other, and you don't have to worry about what you look like or all these other things. It just gives a different helps you feel comfortable. Sometimes people, that face to face interaction is uncomfortable for people, but if they can show up as, you know, in the metaverse, and it be more of a non, like a gaming atmosphere, or you get the opportunity to create the world that you want to service your clients in. And at the end of the day, it's about the experience, right? So you want to create that. It's to me, it's like limitless, right? The experiences that you can provide people without just being in the normal, office, sitting on the couch, or that kind of thing. It's just, you get to create an experience for your client in different ways and be creative. So I'm looking forward to it, and being able to offer that as, hey, we're not doing, the coaching the same way as we have before. We have another way that we can do it that can be more fun and immersive and engaging, most importantly. So
Well, and I think
Yeah.
that's, the important, part about what you're sharing is the engagement part. And as we know, virtual reality, VR, AR, is something that is here 24/7. And I think the really exciting thing is people can come get your information, whether you're in your avatar, walking your, sharing with others, what, some maybe not, so you can't personalize that information there, right, when you are sharing it. But the beautiful thing is that you can be able to host the information where that are really having a hard time. They need 8 minutes to talk to somebody else in order to defuse the situation that they're going through. So it's like suicide prevention, things like that. They say it's proven that if you can talk to someone for 8 minutes, increase the likelihood of survival, essentially, or, of getting someone through that. And so this is really something that's exciting for you, is that you're going to be able to showcase what you're doing. And like, for instance, your self-love workshop coming up this weekend, that's something that, in the future, you're going to be able to broadcast these in, and because people will be in the space, it'll attract more people to come in because it's a free event. And so, my next question for you is along the same lines of, where do you see yourself and Set Yourself Free LLC going in the future? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, I definitely want to be able to have like hands-on like retreats for women for sure, where I want to create like a safe haven, but someplace that's fun, that you get to not only get your coaching if you would like, but you can also come there. Like I remember, and me and my friend Makita was talking about it. Sometimes we as moms, we do so much, or women, people in general, we do so much. But from a mom perspective, sometimes you just want a break, right? So I want to create that space where people who just need a break can go to, and but not only just physically, but in the virtual reality world as well, right? So being able to create a space that's interactive, and all the things that you could do in a physical sense in the real world, being able to build that into the storefront, right? Will be amazing to so I'm excited to see, as things grow and as I grow, how I can actually take that space and make it into something that you can really enjoy, whether it's through gaming, whether it's through something else, but just something that will really help people let go, as you said, of the trauma and the drama, and really set themselves free from it, but again be empowered. So I'm looking forward to growing, both in in the real world, where I can have an actual physical building that people can come to, but also provide the same services online, and it be worldwide, right? That would be wonderful.
Yeah. And so, since we're talking about AI, right? And you introduced it yourself and you talked about your motion works. I would love to be able to share with people, your AI motion works that is in your biz in a box that you can utilize in your metaverse space, that you're also already going to have access to being able to have your meetings other than this Zoom, right? And being able to really create a different experience. You can utilize this on your podcast, right? As your intro. You can utilize this when you go into rooms on social audio apps and they say, hey, you got 2 minutes to introduce yourself, and you can literally hit play and boom, it allows AI to do the work for you. And that's something that we share with people, is that AI is, artificial intelligence, but yes, but it's also also, adopting new technologies and being able to pivot into the future and seeing how this can relinquish some of, the actual workforce or the workload that you have to do, especially if you get out of your mindset and understand that it's copy, paste, drag, drop. And I share that because, this whole production thing is not my cup of tea. Earlier I had to do it, and I had that fear, that trauma, and I had to understand the patterns. And I'm a grown person and a grown adult, and so I can be aware of that. I'm not a teenager anymore, to where I can sit there and say, hey, this pattern that I'm using doesn't work anymore. So I need to buckle up, Buttercup, and let's get, in utilizing this, whether I need to go to YouTube, whether I need to go and do some tutorials, regardless of the matter. Guess what? I can press the button, it can go away, it can come up, oops, my bad. But I hit the button and I took action. And that's something that, we share with people all the time. And so let's get this party rocking and rolling with your AI Motion Works, man. Let's go. Here we go.
Yes. Well, Welcome to Set Yourself Free Life Coaching. We guide women
Going on.
Here
who
you
are
go. I'll do
overwhelmed
it.
with being emotionally stuck to get unstuck so they can reach new heights of their
Here,
full
let's do
potential.
it this way
We
because that one is going to do it this way is easiest.
Welcome
Here
to
we go.
Set Yourself Free Life Coaching. We guide women who are overwhelmed with being emotionally stuck to get unstuck so they can reach new heights of their full potential. We believe that everyone has the power to create the life they desire, but sometimes we need a little help along the way. That's where we come in. We provide personalized coaching and support to help you overcome your obstacles and achieve your goals. Our coaching program is based on the principles of positive thinking. Well,
Boom. And so, with that being said, how do you see, your AI, or have you got any feedback from your AI, as of yet?
I have my family, they think it's funny. They're like, "What? That's you?" The first time they saw it, they were shocked, to see that, hey, your your mom's moving over there because they see that. So that was pretty interesting for them. But I think AI is great. I think being able to have the the AI motion work sometimes, so not every time you want to go out and do a post, right? Yourself, maybe you're tired or whatever, and you could just have it done and have it scheduled to go out. So I think it just makes things more efficient, and it gives you more time, right? As you guys talk about all the time. But oftentimes you think, man, I wish I had AI to do this. I'm not, so now it helps you be more, you can do more things with AI now taking care of, the posting that you may need to do, or if you have a exercise you want to do for your workshop, or what have you. You can get them to utilize, you can utilize that rather to help, save you time. So I'm excited about it personally, because I know sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like going live. So she could go live.
Exactly, right. And with you being a Pivot membership, right, a Pivot member, and being one of our executive, you're coming up, every quarter, you get another AI video. So I know you're up and due for an AI video where we can be able to introduce, another masterclass. We can be able to introduce why people should, join your 30-minute consultation. And this really allows you to do exactly what you said, and also be able to put it in the metaverse where when people come into your office, you can be able to have that video playing in your storefront, in your back office, to where, hey, go and learn more. And people have to understand they can go through your biz in a box to get to the metaverse. And so we make it that easy. And really, when people say, oh, David and Tara, you guys are the metaverse king and queen, and I have to remind people, because I'm the one that's pretty much out there the most, is, hey, look, we don't do, the actual, just metaverse. It's the foundation. And you couldn't be able to pivot into the metaverse if your foundation wasn't in order. And I share that even in a relationship. You can't build a strong relationship on a faulty foundation. You can't build a safe, relationship in an unsafe environment that was unsafe before you got in there. That's like jumping into a tiger cage and saying, oh, this is an unsafe environment and the tiger is in there. It was unsafe before you jumped in there. So don't claim that it's unsafe now when somebody else gets in there. We have to be aware of the energy that we bring, the vibration that we bring. And so I'm so glad that we have this AI to be able to create that experience without you having to do it. Because just like earlier, we had Miss Roberta Pacino on here. She's great, at being able to do her art, but she's not the best at promoting. And I don't say that in a negatory way, because a farmer is great at farming. He doesn't sell the fruit. right? And so we all have to be able to utilize these systems and these strategies in a unique way that works best for us and really get out of our old patterns. Us really get out of that old conditioning way because my mama did it, my daddy did it, and so I'm gonna do it, and that just doesn't work. And so this is where you've taken the initiative to make that pivot and make that transition. And so, with that being said, if you could, with you being in the metaverse, share with us, about, what was your experience jumping into the metaverse? Can you hear me, Miss Cleo?
I can't hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, for some reason I can't hear you. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened.
Oh, I see your thing is off of mute. Can you hear me still? Can you not hear me?
I can't hear you guys.
Okay. All right. So I'll tell you what we're gonna do is we're gonna play a video and then we'll have you exit and then come back.
I don't know what happened. Do you
Are
want
you an
me
innovative
to leave
entrepreneur?
and
A
come back
forward
in?
thinking entrepreneur or business owner? The world is changing faster than ever, and it's time to pivot and adapt to the future. Hello LLC is here to help you do just that. Hello stands for helping enterprises leverage leading edge optimizations. Our innovative solutions can streamline operations, reduce overhead costs, and give you a competitive edge in a market projected to reach $5 trillion by 2030. By pivoting to the metaverse, businesses can tap into a rapidly growing market that is projected to be a significant part of daily life for 25% of Americans by 2026. As a full digital metaverse agency, the Hello LLC can help you create custom solutions to streamline operations, increase productivity, reduce costs, and drive brand recognition. Why should you pivot to the metaverse with the Hello LLC? By leveraging cutting-edge technology, you can provide immersive experiences for your customers, expand your global reach, and unlock new revenue streams. Contact us today to make the pivot.
Okay, I'm back.
Awesome,
I
awesome, awesome.
now, yay!
Hey, so what I was asking, right, is you've been in our metaverse,
Yeah,
and you've been in with your VR headsets, you've
yeah.
been in through your laptop, you've been in through your cell phone, right? What would you share with the people as an entrepreneur, right? Why they should pivot their business into the metaverse? What things would you share with them?
Well, first of all, it's the way technology is going, right? So, a lot of businesses are already in here, and there was something that I learned from going into rooms with you all, and that is and other entrepreneurs as well. They say, you want to, when you have a business, you want to make money even while you're asleep, right? And so the metaverse offers you the opportunity to have your business available to people at all times of the day, right? So people can come in and they can receive your services and you're not even there. So I think that's really a great option, right, for most businesses to be able to have that access to their clients or customers at any given time of the day, right? So I think that's helpful. And as I said before, it gives you another experience with, it just takes your business to another level, right? Giving for customers, they not only buy your product, but they also buy the experience. And this is another way for you to add to the experience of your business, right? Another way to think outside of the box and not always do and be innovative, right? Depending on what your business area is, it gives you the opportunity to be innovative in that particular sector of your business. So I think it's amazing. I'm really looking forward to myself. Um, the things that I can do to make things innovative, with coaching, for people out there, and for people to have access to, as you, like you said, like for example with suicide, right? People who may be suicidal, they have round the clock people that they can talk to, and being able to have, where someone can just go in there, and if they have a particular issue, they can have an AI, motion work that actually talks them through that, right? And I don't have to be there in order for that to happen. So for entrepreneurs that are out there, I definitely think that you want to, do your research, do your due diligence, check it out, right? Don't be like, oh, I want to do that, that's like bad or whatever. Actually come in and experience it for yourself and get to see what it's like without, hearing what everybody else says. Say, you know what, I am going to hear what everybody says, but I am going to go experience for myself and see what it's like. And then once you get in there, then you start thinking about, what are some things that I can do with my business to help it grow. We want to see that growth. So how can my business grow? How can I use the metaverse to help, take me to the next level with my clients, or customers, however, you view them. But I definitely think that everyone should just give it. I mean, what's it gonna hurt, right? It's not gonna hurt you to just really just take the experience, and it's also helping you the ability to acquire knowledge about something that you don't know about. So, and you know what they say, knowledge is power when you use it, right? So you want to get in there, get the knowledge, and utilize, figure out how can I utilize this to give a different experience to the people that I serve.
That's an excellent point of, how to get in there and, to be able to utilize technology to, serve your community, serve those that are not in your community, have yet discovered you. I want to know, because a lot of people think that, oh my God, it's the metaverse, it's going to be hard. Tell us how easy it was for you just to get in and jump in and discover and just be curious, not even get your storefront up or do anything else, but
So, for me, it was, so I remember when I first met you guys, and you guys were talking about your master class, and you were gonna do it in the metaverse, and I was like, wow, what's the metaverse, right? And I was like, I gotta see what this is. And you guys sent out the link, and it's really quick, right? You click the link, you get in, and you download the app. But once you get into the app, then um you're just more like curious about, what's gonna happen next. How do I move this thing around? How do I move this avatar around, and I can dress it up and I can do different things. And then of course everybody's, metaverse space is different, so they have offer different things. So what you may see in let's say in Cleo's storefront, you may not see in Roberta's and stuff like that. So you get to experience everybody's business in a different way. But it was really easy. So I think people get scared because it's something new and nervous, but it's not as difficult as you may think that it is. And it's not a whole bunch of steps either, right? Which that also complicates things. And you got to figure out where this button is or where that is. No, everything is pretty simple to navigate into. So it's user friendly in my opinion.
I love it. I love it. And with your set yourself free and with your abundance and your life coaching, right? Or should I say substance, coaching and things of that sort, what would you share with somebody right now that is, struggling with making that switch and making that pivot? What would be your first suggestion other than signing up for this free, masterclass, this webinar that you have this weekend and getting a 30-minute consultation with you, which is literally, more important than going to Metaverse right now, especially in that case. What advice, what would you whisper in their ear? What would you say to them?
Someone who is struggling right now, I would tell them first and foremost to reach out to someone, because oftentimes when we're struggling, we struggle and we suffer in silence. I know, because I was that person, right? And the only way for us to get help is for us to really step outside of our comfort zone, which, you know, I know when we're going through pain, we feel like if we open up and we talk to other people, we might be a bother to them, right? So if you are struggling right now, I want to say to you to let go of the belief that if you open up and reach out, that you're going to be a hindrance to the people around you or the people that you need support from. Most people want to help you, right? Most people don't know how to help you because you're not opening up and asking for help. So, right now, I encourage anyone who's listening right now, who's going through something, to know that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to reach out and say, you know what, I've been struggling in silence. I don't know what to do. Can you help me? And there's no perfect way. You don't, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. Just taking the step of just saying, I need help. And most people, when they hear I need help, they're going to be willing to extend their hand and say, I got you, right? I want to help you. And even if they don't know what to do, they'll say, hey, I'll be right back, let me go find out, right? So you got to just find the courage within yourself to ask for the help that you need. And if the first person you talk to isn't willing to give you help, go to the next. Don't quit. Don't give up on yourself. You can do this. I know it's difficult. I know it's hard because I myself had difficulty asking for help. But that's the thing that sets you free, is being able to open up and say, I need help. That is the first step. So I encourage you to.
Yeah. Yeah, you share that, and I got reminded of this yesterday. Is that you say ask for help, and a lot of the times we don't ask for help because we're stubborn, or because we are afraid of what other people think. Especially when it comes to family, I don't want to share this because they're going to use it back. They're going to use it against me, especially in a relationship. You open up, especially from a man, you open up and it gets thrown back in your face like no other. And so you don't share, you don't open up, and this is what we have. And I've shared the story multiple times, especially when it comes to addiction and things of that sort. And don't beat me up, but this is just a word that I'm going to use, and I don't mean offensive by it in any shape, form, or fashion. But we'll get the concept, especially at the end, that when we get up in the morning and we drive to work and we see that homeless person, and we see that person that is addicted to drugs, aka that crackhead, right? That crackhead woke up this morning with not one dime, not $1, not anything, and they are going to get that hit before the end of the day, no matter what, because they're dedicated to getting that hit, and they're dedicated to getting that fix. And it does not matter how many friends, how many family members, how many emails, how many voicemails, how many of their own words that, hey, do you want to get help? And they say, no, I don't. That crackhead is not going to get better until they say, yes, I do want to cross that bridge. Not only do I want to cross that bridge, but I want to cross that bridge and I don't want to burn it down. I don't want to, put my pinky toe on it and be like, oh no, I don't want to do it, right? Or, get halfway to the bridge and just whew, burn it down again, or continuously burning it down time after time again, because you're not making the leap. And until that crackhead decides, hey, I'm done with this. That is when that crackhead is no longer going to be the crackhead. And I say that word because guess what? We are all crackheads and addicted to something in our life. And until we decide to get over that and overcome that fear and take action, you will continue to be the crackhead. You will continue to have those traumas. You will continue to have the same patterns, right? You will continue to have the same drama, and you will continue to have that prideful, hurtful ways of not owning up and saying, hey, not only is this impacting me, but my addiction and my craving is impacting other people and other businesses and other families around them. And I share this story with people a lot that, when you go to Starbucks or you go to a restaurant and you talk to the person wrong, or you're nasty to them and you're vindictive to them, right? That energy transfers over, to everybody else that's around them with. So that mother, that father goes and picks up their son, their daughter, and that person was evil, naive, or whatever to that, that restaurant worker. They're going to take that energy towards, their kids. And then here we are in a whole nother ball of stress, of anxiety, of living through, these traumas because we're unwilling to be emotional aware of how we show up, and we're unable to really take action on them because of our fear. And then, even more importantly, not having a safe space to have this conversation and to be heard and to be able to be expressed. And so that's why we encourage you guys to join Miss Cleo. And if you could, Miss Cleo, share with us a little bit more about this webinar that you have this weekend, of what people can expect and why they should come to this event. And it's free. It's free. Let's make sure we're crystal clear. Press the button. It's free.
Number one reason why you should attend, it's free. No, but
Complimentary, should we say?
one of the reasons why this event is very important to me, and I think people should attend, is because a lot of times we have trauma, as you said, and we have drama, and we don't know. Sometimes we don't realize or recognize what it stems from, or we don't know how to heal from it. Where do I start? Right. So with this seminar, what will happen is we are actually going to work on identifying for each individual who will attend what those barriers are, starting that journey of how do I start this healing process, and what are some things that I can do to start to heal and to learn how to love myself. Because a lot of people can't practice self-love because, as you say, the monster that we create, right, that younger child, um is not healed. So how can I love myself if I'm not healed, right? And then I take that, as you say, it bleeds into other things. So you go off on the person at Starbucks, and then that person goes off on the next person, and then they bring it home to their kids. And it's the same thing with our healing within ourselves. If we are not working on ourselves, then we cannot love ourselves. If there is this blockage, there's this barrier to self-love, and that's all these things that is taking place that's preventing us from getting to that point. So if we can learn how to heal, and break down that wall, which is what we will be working on. We'll be working on identifying all the blocks that come together to build this wall of barrier that is stopping us from loving ourselves. And now that we've taken this wall down, now that we have practiced, this self-discovery, and we've reflected and it's come to our awareness what is happening, now what do we do? Now I identify the problem. What am I going to do with it, right? And that some people get stuck there. So we're going to also talk about that. What's the next step? And the most important thing that I want to say about healing is that some of the issues that we have to heal from is not going to ever go away from us. And when I say that, I mean, for example, for me, I struggle with self doubt, right? And I have come to learn how to manage it better. but it does not mean that something else is not going to happen in my life that is going to allow me to experience self-doubt. And just like the person that you were talking about earlier who has the addiction, we have a hard time understanding, like, why do they go back? Why do they go back to some, using drugs and whatever? We do the same thing. We don't even realize it, but we do the same thing. We can work on a behavior, and then something's gonna happen, and then we go right back to the unhealthy coping skill. I know, because I've done it. I know, I'm not just talking about other people, I'm talking about myself here when I'm speaking. I've done it, it happened to me most recently, and I think we talked about it together, where I had immediately went back into an old way of handling situation, and then I had to like snap out of it. I'm like, wait a minute, Cleo, you done took 5 steps back already, right? So it's important to know that some of these things won't go away when you work on yourself and you get to a place of emotional freedom. It doesn't mean that you're happy all the time. It doesn't mean your life is going to be perfect. It doesn't mean you're not going to experience things. It's when these things show up, the challenges and the obstacles in your life show up, how you deal with it. You have a better way of dealing with it. So you're not then that person who bleeds their trauma onto other people. So I have experienced in situations, like I said, where self-doubt came up again. I did go back into that old pattern of behavior, a relapse, right? And then, but the difference is I didn't stay there, right? I was able to recognize that I've start back into an old pattern of behavior and made the decision to say, wait a minute, I'm not going to sit here and think negatively. I'm going to look at the fact that I can still continue on with this project. Just because something happened that it's not going to go the way that I want it to go right now doesn't mean I have to quit, because I'm telling you, something happens, I'm quit. I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore. But no, I'm going to stick it through. I'm going to find another solution to this problem. So we learn how to continue to work through things in life, even when obstacles and challenges come our way, so that we don't go back into being stuck, that we don't go back into those old unhealthy ways of handling things. So I just wanted to let people know that we're going to, encounter things, and oftentimes people have a hard time identifying with people with addiction, and I really want to spread the awareness. I'm not saying that we're all the same, but I want to help them see where, if when someone relapses and go back into unhealthy pattern of behaviors, people who don't use, we relapse and go back into patterns and old behaviors. And if we can understand that behavior, then we can have a little bit more empathy for people with addiction, and understand overall how we together can work together to make each and every one of us thrive.
Yeah, that's so spot on, of being able to be aware when you're in that pattern and not continue to go 7, 8 days in that pattern and stay in that pattern and continue that pattern, knowing that you're lying about what you're lying about and you're selling yourself on, and knowing that you should reinstore your integrity, knowing that you're dead wrong for how you're acting and how you're behaving, but yet your pride,
Mhm.
please remember, I destroy everything, continues to show up. So, what advice would you give to someone that continues to stay in that stuck pattern and they're stuck in it right now? What would you whisper in their ear to, hopefully, if they care enough, right? Because like I said, that crackhead has to be able to care enough to be able to say, hey, I want to be able to fix myself and get over this bridge, or they can just burn the bridge and go back to the other side and continue their teenage ways. Or, what would you whisper for them to say, hey, you need to stay your ass on this side of the bridge, because this side is going to help you get where you want to be, and not that side. Because as I continue to share with people, old keys don't open new doors. And it blows my mind that us as grown adults, we don't get that, but yet we talk about it and we don't do it.
So I would say, first of all, first and foremost, do you even want to change, right? Because Sometimes we can talk about change, and but we don't want to put in the effort. So in order for anyone to change, they have to be willing, and they have to be at the point where they can recognize how their old way of behaving isn't working for them. So for someone who is repeatedly doing the same things over and over, I would challenge them to ask them, hey, let's weigh the benefits and costs of this behavior. I would ask them to say, how is this continuous repetition of this old pattern of behavior that you say you want to change, but you're still doing it over and over, how is that working for you? Because most of the times we can stay stuck in a pattern of behavior, but still aspire for something different, right? And if we aspire for that different, if you truly want that, what changes are you going to make to get there? Because I can be that, as you say, that crackhead and stuck in that behavior, but I don't really want to be that person who's lying and stealing and, you know, disrespecting myself. I may be doing this because I am addicted to a substance and I am chasing the first initial high that I got, but I know deep down inside that's not what I want. I know that I want to be a mother to my kids. I know that I want to hold a responsible job. I know that I want to, pursue because a lot of these people are so, I mean, artistic, and they just have so many talents, right? So I know that I can do all these things. There, you may be engaging in this behavior right here and doing it because right now you're afraid of the outcome, but you're always thinking about what you want. So you have got to say, you know what, if I continue to do this, is it going to get me what I want? And that's why I encourage clients to say, to weigh the benefits and the costs, and how that does that align with their overall goal that they want for themselves.
Yeah. Last night I was watching the Monique and Shannon Sharp show, which I encourage people to go watch. It was definitely a good one. And, one of the things that she shared, which was just crazy, these things come to you in light at the right time for some odd reason. And she said, sometimes we as people, we allow our traumas to be a crutch for
Yeah.
us not to move forward. We allow these things and this bad behavior to continue to happen, and we have a choice to be able to do those things. And she said, I put down the crackhead story because I was going to share that today. But this is where we really have to make that choice and make that pivot, and that's something that our pivot membership helps people out with, from their mind, their body, and their soul, right? With having that conversation with that soul. And like you said, that person has to be willing to not be the crackhead anymore and actually care. You would be amazed at how many people don't care and continue the same, patterns, and wonder why. But yet, like you said, hey, I want these things. Hey, I want these things. And never satisfied, never grateful, but always want more, but not willing to entrench themselves in who they're being now and how they can be better now for themselves. Because when you're better for yourself, you're better for everybody else in your surroundings. And that's so key. That's so key. And so, with that being said, is there anything that we didn't ask you that you would want us to ask you about and for you to share to the audience?
Well, I did want to touch on some other things that I have. Um, we didn't talk about it much on the Business the Boss, but I do have a membership on
Yeah.
there, and I also have an apparel line that you guys can check out on there as well, with some positive saying on T-shirts and stuff like that. And also, I do a recovery support group that I co-facilitate with my friend Makita, for people who are in a medication assisted treatment program. So that's people on methadone, Suboxone, and Subutex, offering them a safe space for them to talk about their issues and know that they are in recovery too, right? Just because your recovery journey is different from total abstinence based, right? Because they get looked down upon because they're on a medication to help them, stay clean and sober, and it's not considered being totally clean. But if you're just taking your medication and you are being a responsible member of society and doing what you're supposed to do, you're in recovery too. And you should not live in fear or in shame or be put down because your path to recovery is different than someone else's. So that's what I do. I also give out Narcan kits in my community to help people with um, who are dealing with opioid addiction. And you can help save a life, right? So a lot of people may think, why would I want to get a Narcan kit? Well, you never know where might run upon someone who is going through an overdose, because it can happen to any one of us in any one of our family at any given time, because addiction does not discriminate. And so you may have the power to save a life. So I educate people about that, how to recognize an overdose and things of that nature, and also how how to be a good Samaritan, right? And I really encourage each and every one of us to take some time to explore our dramas, our traumas, to identify where they come from, to not work on other people, but to work on ourselves. Stop pointing out the flaws in everybody else and what's wrong with them, but let's work on ourselves. Because if we individually do our part to work on ourselves, when we come together, we can do and create amazing things. And a lot of the things that they say, oh, these things will never change, and we can't change these generational issues and blah 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 blah. We can. We absolutely can. If each and every one of us was committed to working on ourselves and teaching our kids how to be, and being open with our kids and how to talk and how to express themselves, we can heal. We can teach the next generation to heal so that they don't have the same issues that we have. And even with all of our issues, we are able to do great things, right? Some of us have a lot of issues, but we have that creativity, and we have also, imagine if we were to heal from those things, how much further we could go. And so I believe our, with it being Black History Month, and thinking about, this past few days, I've been inundated with all this Black history stuff, and just thinking about all the things that everybody have gone through, and many many years later now, for us as Black people, we don't have, we may still have to deal with racism and stuff like that, but not to the magnitude of our ancestors, right? They went through so much for us to be here and enjoy how things are. So I think we owe it to ourselves, not just Black people only, but all of us, to really start to have conversations that we don't want to have. Stop judging people. Be kinder to ourselves so we can be kinder to everyone else, so we can have a better world for us, for our children, and the rest to come, because we can. It is absolutely possible for us to do better. It is possible for our world to get better, but we all have to be willing to do the work.
Yeah, and you're so spot on, and even doing the work and not blaming other people for your traumas, right? A lot of times we hear this is a huge word, especially on these social audio apps, right? And just in public, especially around here, right? Is that, triggers. Well, you triggered me. Because I triggered you, that doesn't give you the green light to act the way that you act and respond the way that you respond. That's not how it goes. Oh, well, you triggered me, and that just allows me to go 8 days and not talk to you, call you out your name, all these other things, and then be like, "Ooh, you triggered me," and then walk around and be like, I'm mad at you when you did this to me, right? And so this just blows my mind, that a lot of the times people utilize that as a crutch, right?
Right.
Utilize it as a crutch to say, oh, well, I have this excuse and this reason that you triggered me, and so now I got a green light to be this way. And it's like, hold on, aren't you a grown person? Didn't you promise that you wouldn't do these things? Didn't your integrity, your word, your value, your literally your heart, right? Your love say, "Hey, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to be better," or even more reinstore your integrity. And so we cannot allow our traumas to really impact us because that's huge. And like I said, even with your addiction and hearing you, in your shares, this goes to everyone. Being in your rooms, I'm like, am I addicted? Maybe I am. And so, because the same concepts apply in all of these, these patterns that you're talking about for us to break. So, Miss Cleo, I appreciate, you joining us today and being a part of our Hello Pivot on Thursdays that we have live. And you guys make sure you go to her Biz in a Box, right? And you sign up for this webinar that is happening right this weekend on the 11th, on
Yes.
the 10th, I'm sorry, the 10th at
Yes.
11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? And so make sure you guys go on here, register, get to that event, learn some of this amazing knowledge, do the work, press the button. Don't just show up and don't be ready to work. I know
Oh,
if I have time in my calendar, I don't think I have anything. I'm gonna be there, right?
they won't.
Because maybe I need some retooling because I might be missing something in this whole thing of life. Maybe I'm missing something because loving ourselves allows us to love other people, and it amazes me that how we treat people so bad
Well,
because we treat them bad,
I'm
right?
gonna say this, David. This is not one of those seminars where you're gonna sit back. you gotta You gotta participate. If you coming to sit back and be a fly on the wall, you in the wrong seminar. Cause baby, Cleo is gonna work you to death. So be prepared to work on your trauma. Okay, we're not coming in here and Miss Cleo is not doing the work. I can promise you that. When you step into this seminar room, you are going to be doing the work. So it's not one of those where we're gonna be chilling and we're gonna be cute and I'm gonna get everybody. Everybody's gonna be participating. Everybody, because the point is, we want to change, right? And if we want to change, we got to engage. And I can't change you, so you have to participate. So I'm definitely going to be encouraging everyone. Now, don't say you ain't signing up because you got to do work. Now,
It's Saturday. You ain't got
no,
nowhere to go.
look, don't you talk it out because you heard me say you gotta work. Yeah, I said it. You gotta work. We ain't gonna be lazy and chilling. No, we ain't gonna be cute. This ain't no cute seminar. This is a get down and dirty and work on stuff. But at most importantly, getting up and then learning how to love yourself, because we're not here to put down anybody or do anything like that, but we really want to say, you know what, this year in 2024, I am ready to rise. I am ready to let go of the baggage that's been holding me back from whatever it is that it has been holding you back from. Right, for me it was, pursuing career ideas and being in a healthier version of myself. Whatever it is for you, I'm done. I'm tired and I'm sick and tired of this self doubt. I'm sick and tired of, this grief. I'm ready to let it go and I'm ready to move on. So we are going to work, we're going to soar, and you are going to shine bright because each and every one of us has the ability to shine. We just need to polish ourselves up a little bit, right? Sometimes we get a little dirty, and so now it's time to dust ourselves off and pursue all the things that we wanted to do. And most importantly, I tell people all the time, transformation happens when belief in yourself means consistent action. So it's not enough to just talk about change. It's not enough to say, yeah, I'm going to change today and then revert back. No, you have to consistently take action. That is when the
Say that again for the people in the back, ma'am. Say that again.
it is when belief in yourself, because you got to believe in yourself, meets consistent action. That means you have to have that, as you said, that commitment, right? You have to have that commitment because things, life is going to show up, right? And when life shows up, I want to be able to consistently take action to be the change that I say I want to be. We all can do it. It's possible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that. Um, be the change that you want to be, and be consistent, and really just understand the patterns, understand how it all acts out. But with that being said, Miss Cleo, we greatly appreciate you joining us, as always. Kind of like I don't know if you got a cap, right? And so there's this meme out there where this the cat owner is going to feed the cat, and just drops one little scoop, and then the camera pans up at this big fat cat, and it says, "Not around here, homie. Not around here." He says, "Not around here, partner. Not around here, partner. We don't eat like that." And so when
I
you
know
say,
that's right. You better
do
come back.
you know which one I'm talking about? Have you seen it?
I haven't, but it sounds funny.
So I'll send it to you, and I'll post it. You guys make sure you guys go and follow Cleo on her social media. Go and follow her on LinkedIn. Go and follow her on Facebook. Come and follow her on all of her platforms. Go and visit her actual metaverse store that's about to be ready here in the next couple of days, if not sooner. And then you guys make sure you come and join us for our How To Tuesdays. Or our How To Tuesdays, we always have engaging conversations. Well, last week we talked about crypto, right? This week we talked about a podcast, and then on Wisdom Wednesday, these are both at 4:30 Eastern. That is, this week we talked about fear to freedom, right? The fear to freedom. That if you release this fear and release this anger and this anxiety, that is your path to freedom. Because the things that you don't, or the things that you want, is on the other side of the things you don't do. Like, people want successful relationships, but then they don't put in the effort and they don't put in the drive, and then they say, "Oh, I didn't get the relationship." Well, what did you do? What did your partner ask you for? Because I know as a man, right, all I ask for is two things, right, or one thing, and then I give two. Most women, and I'm pretty sure Cleo, you can agree with this, right? Is that you want a protector, and you want a provider. If you got a man, especially in 2024, that can do that these days, you have a winner, chicken dinner, right? And for a man, all we're asking for is for peace. That's it, right? The peace and quiet, so we can do the things that we need to do, especially for an entrepreneur that relies on their business and being able to go out and contact and reach out and do all these amazing things, especially as a shift is happening in today's technology. If you guys aren't paying attention, there was more than 10,000 people that were laid off in the last 2 weeks. And so, we keep showing, and why we encourage you guys to follow us on social media, where Cleo shows amazing tips on substance abuse. We show amazing tips on metaverse and AI and this robotics. And so this is where we come together in a community to overcome these traumas that become these patterns, that become, really these traumas in our life, that then, help us avoid those prides, right?
Yeah.
But there we go. I'm back, so you can hear me. And so, as I was saying, please, pride. Remember, pride stands for please remember. I destroyed everything. Is that last thing? So, with that being said, Miss Cleo, what are the last words that you have, for us? Where can people reach you at, and they can go, and register for this masterclass as well?
They can reach me at setyourselffree.io. Yay! Rebranded, so simple and easy to find me now. I am also on Facebook under Set Yourself Free Life Coaching, and on Instagram, Set Yourself Free LLC, and also on TikTok, Set Yourself Free. So I'm on oh yeah, I'm also on LinkedIn. So you can pretty much find me everywhere under Set Yourself Free, because I believe it's time for all of us. We all have something that we have to set ourselves free from, and we absolutely can. And when we do that, we have the ability. Remember this: every day you wake up with hope and opportunity. And the question you have to ask yourself each and every day is, what am I going to do with both?
Boom. Mic drop. Uh, we love it. We love it. And you know, that's so spot on. But with that being said, hey guys, we appreciate you all joining us. And you guys make sure you come and join us next week for our Hello Pivot. I know we got Chef Andy that's going to be joining us. I know we got Miss Roberta Pacino, Al Pacino's sister, that's going to be joining us, right? And so, you know, this is where we just want you guys to come and join us in our community so we can grow and we can prosper together. And so, you know, as always, you know, with those of us that share these words and know these words and you know, actually act out these words, right, on a daily committed basis, as you said, right, and respect these words, right? It is love, it is kindness, it is integrity, and more importantly, it is commitment at the end of the day. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you know the drill.